Good afternoon, I'm Tina Tyshaw.
And I'm Edward Moody. Thank you for joining us. Well, we begin tonight in Washington, where more help is coming to those who served our nation.
It is considered the largest expansion of veterans health care in more than 30 years today. President Joe Biden signed it into law. The PACT Act extends health and disability benefits to veterans who deal with medical issues resulting from exposure to toxic burn pits during their military service. After being passed in the House, the bill was initially rejected by the Senate. However, they later passed it.
This law is long overdue, but we finally got it done together. We owe you. You're the backbone, you're the steel, you're the sinew, you're the very fiber that makes this country what it is.
Veterans who were exposed during their service attended the signing ceremony along with their families, advocates, and members of Congress. Vietnam War era veterans and survivors also stand to benefit from the measure.
Developing now in North Georgia, officials say 2 forbidding soldiers are dead and 3 others are hurt after a weather-related training incident. Now, Army representatives say the service members were killed Tuesday. Severe thunderstorms were reported in the area during the incident. The White County fire chief reportedly said a wind gust caused the top of a tree to fall, causing the accident. The soldiers were treated by Army medics before being taken to a hospital. The names of the 2 soldiers who died have not yet been released. The other 3 soldiers are still in the hospital. We will update you as soon as we learn more.
As disbarred Lowcountry attorney Alec Murdaugh prepares for his criminal trial on murder charges, he is asking for at least one of his civil cases to be put on hold. Murdaugh's attorneys are asking a Hampton County judge to delay the start of a lawsuit filed by the family of a teen killed in a boating crash until after Murdaugh stands trial for the murders of his wife and son. The claim says that Murdaugh will not have adequate time to prepare his defense while focusing on depositions, discovery, and a civil trial. Well, there has been no date set for the civil or criminal trials against Alec Murdaugh. We will hear from the Beach family, their attorney, I should say. That's coming up on WSAV News 3 at 5 and 6.
Now, WSAV News 3 on your side weather with Storm Team 3 Viper Radar, powered by the Dozier Law Firm.
Well, it's been another warm day here in the Coastal Empire and Low Country. Lots of sunshine out there for this afternoon, but of course watching for a little bit of hazy conditions to continue to move on in. That's why we're really not seeing too many peaks of blue out there, and if you do see a little bit of blue, it's more like a milky blue, a very light blue outside. We're still watching for a few clouds to work their way in, but all this hazy conditions, all thanks to all this dust moving up the East Coast. You can see how it's just settling over top of the Coastal Empire and Low Country. And of course, you know, all this dust helps suppress tropical activity. We're also watching for us to see vibrant sunsets and sunrises over the next couple of days. So the sunset tonight is at 8:14, and by tomorrow morning it's at 6:47. So make sure you're stepping out the door and enjoying a beautiful sunset or sunrise for tomorrow morning, as that does help scatter the sunlight, especially throughout those 2 times of the day. But as of right now, Viper Radar, things are staying pretty quiet. We've seen a few rumbles of thunder out there earlier today. Those have fizzled out. Just watching for a few areas of some light rain showers out there currently. That's all thanks to high pressure still sitting off our coastline. But as we head into the day tomorrow and really Friday, we begin tracking a cold front. That cold front is going to push these rain showers closer to us and bring back a likely chance of rain, especially as we head into the day Friday. For the rest of this evening, though, watching for these rain showers just moving through the panhandle of Florida into southern Georgia. They're going to head our way as we head into this evening, into the start of the overnight hours. And temperature-wise, though, just stepping out the door, it's warm outside. 93 degrees currently is the temperature here in Savannah, and 94 degrees in Alma. So timing everything out as we head throughout the rest of this evening into the overnight hours, watching for those rain showers to move in from the south. Things do taper off as we head past sunset throughout the overnight hours, and then by tomorrow morning, things starting off warm, back into the mid-70s. And then by tomorrow afternoon, starting off very similar to today, where things are staying dry up until lunchtime. After lunchtime, watching those sea breeze storms really begin to work their way in. And of course, all that moisture ahead of that cold front is really going to help fire up rounds of rain showers and thunderstorms as we head throughout our Thursday afternoon. And that will continue into our Thursday evening with more rain on the way as we head into our Friday. But for tomorrow, as your kids are stepping off, heading towards the bus, Temperatures in the mid-70s, then by tomorrow afternoon back into the mid-90s. But as we head into this weekend, look at these temperatures. 87 degrees for a high temperature on Saturday as well as Sunday, dropping off, not being nearly as hot as what we've seen this week as we head past that cold front moving in as we head into Friday, and temperatures start to get back closer to normal as we head into the start of next week. But as for this evening's time saver traffic report, lots of green on your screen, so that's good news for your Wednesday evening commute. But of course, we're still watching occasional slowdowns here and there, like on I-16 from Savannah to Pooler, currently taking right around 15 minutes, where normally takes you right around 10. All right, Tina, over to you.
Alyssa, thank you. Well, as our kids head back to school, police in Thunderbolt are trying to keep them safer by cracking down on speeding drivers. Police are in the middle of a 30-day warning period. This is ahead of a rollout of an automated speed camera program at Johnson High School. Now, if you're caught, you'll get a warning for now, but officers will start the full enforcement program September 6th, and that is when you'll get a citation and a fine in the mail if you're caught speeding. The automated speed zone will be enforced an hour before school starts until 1 hour after the day is over.
We are on your side with a warning from Port Wentworth Police about a caller pretending to work for the department. Police say the scammer dials a random phone number from the department's main line. We're told the caller then tells the person on the other end that they are involved in an active lawsuit and they need to make a bond payment for it to be dropped. Police encourage you to call them to confirm whether you are part of an investigation before making any transactions. Now, if you have any information about these scams, call Port Wentworth Police at 912-964-4360. Well, many rural areas across the country, including right here in Georgia, lack access to high-speed, affordable internet. But help may soon be on the way.
The Biden administration is directing millions of dollars in loans and grants to support internet projects. News 3's Kyra Jones has more from Claxton.
The USDA is making access to internet a little bit easier for South Georgia residents, thanks to a new grant from the Biden administration. Under new federal funding from the Reconnect program, residents in Evans County will have access to high-speed internet. This program helps to provide grants and loans for construction and improvement for broadband services in rural areas. USDA applications will open September 6th for internet expansion nationwide. It's all a part of President Biden's push under the bipartisan infrastructure law to invest in rural communities across the country. USDA Secretary Xochitl Small says this opportunity can improve quality of life for all people living in underserved communities.
It's about opportunity for hardworking rural people and for kids who want to be able to get a great education in the home they love. So they have access to, they can do their homework online after school and not have to go to a parking lot to get it done.
To find helpful information, including eligibility requirements, just visit wsav.com/reconnect program. Reporting in Claxton, Kyra Jones, WSAV News 3 on your side.
A chance for something new and something better in the face of tragedy and danger. 2 students from Ukraine are in the Lowcountry escaping their war-torn country for a better opportunity here. WSAV News 3's Andrew Davis was there as they were introduced to their fellow classmates for the very first time. He is joining us now from our Lowcountry newsroom. Andrew?
Well, Tina, Heritage Academy is a private school with students from around the area and even around the world. It's offering a different type of opportunity for many, and when the chance to bring in 2 students from Ukraine came up, the school and the community jumped at the chance to help. Now, Petro and Tycon were officially introduced to all their new classmates during a special orientation at Heritage Academy. The boys both came from Kyiv after they fled to Poland during the war. They've already made their way around the Lowcountry, some so far eating and seeing the beach. Principal Amanda Onan says it's an honor to host these teens, and she knows their classmates will show them some Southern hospitality.
Family feeling that they're embraced and taking care of the whole child, not just math and science and English and social studies. So I want them to learn we love them. No matter what's going on back home, we'll pick them up and take care of them.
A really nice place to just study, live, and there's many interesting here. So I'm actually really thankful for this opportunity.
Well, the teens who are still working on their English will start classes with all the other students. They're living with the local Hilton Head family as well. The plan's for them to stay the entire school year, and the boys already say they'd like to study and live here even longer. Tina.
And Andrew, I know it isn't just about school. The community really is stepping up, right, to help these boys in a way that they really haven't seen in some time.
No, absolutely. They are. In addition to the living arrangements, they're getting bikes so they can get around the island, and money's been raised to get them the flight here to begin with. The hope's to give them a little bit of a normal kind of experience. For instance, yes, they went to McDonald's for the first time and said they ate their weight in burgers, as teens have a tendency to do. So if you'd like to help with even some small things like new clothes or gift cards for restaurants or fast food on the island or other places, Heritage Academy says anything is welcome. You just have to call them or drop them off right there at the school. Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Andrew, thank you. Just love how they're lifting these young people.
They really, I love that they ate their weight in burgers.
Of course, yes. All right, still to come, it is Wellness Wednesday, and this week we are talking about adult ADHD.
Yeah, find out what signs you should be looking for, how to get it diagnosed, and why medication may not be the best solution for everyone. You're watching WSAV First News at 4. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Wellness Wednesday, and today we are talking about adult attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or commonly known as ADHD. Our mental health expert, Mary Jo Horton, is back. She's the manager of behavioral health at Memorial Health. Welcome back, Mary Jo.
Thank you.
All right, so let's dive in. Before we get to diagnosis and treatment, you say that if you have ADHD, you have had it since you were a child.
Yes.
And the symptoms can be easily confused with other things like anxiety.
Absolutely. Let's keep in mind that ADHD is the way that the brain is wired to take in information, process it, and that may not have been treated as a child, but that was certainly present.
Yeah, and so you say don't confuse it with anxiety or some other things like even trauma responses. I thought that was interesting.
So let's think about how they overlap. So if I'm anxious, I might not be able to maintain myself in an activity. I might be all over the place. My thoughts might be scattered.
Seems like ADHD.
Seems like ADHD.
Yeah.
If I've had a trauma response, something might easily startle me. I might be on high alert. I might not be able to focus. Seems like ADHD.
Yeah.
Even lots of things attached to procrastination. People confuse procrastination and what's attached to that to ADHD.
All right, so the way to figure it out, the difference is a diagnosis.
Yes.
You say that first starts with figuring out for yourself if you have symptoms of ADHD.
So you really want to learn how to be a good detective of yourself. And really be honest with yourself. Is it that my brain is wired and I've always had difficulty taking in information in one way? Or am I really having these sensations of anxiety? Really being able to hone in so that when you're talking to a doctor or a therapist or whomever, you're giving good information.
And you say talk to a therapist to go through the symptoms and solutions. A psychiatrist, though, for an actual diagnosis and possibly medication.
Correct. You know, the doctor is a doctor, right? And so they're looking at whether or not this meets criteria for disorder and whether or not there's medications attached to that.
A therapist helps solutions, right?
So this is what I want to remind people.
Yeah.
A therapist is going to help you build on your strengths, because if you had adult ADHD, you've learned some ways to cope.
Yeah.
They're going to be very individual and specific to you. And they're going to use a variety of modalities to help you figure out how to work through your symptoms to function.
Okay, and because it's not always about medication, which we're going to talk about in just a sec, but I remember being a child, you know, half my class was on Ritalin at the time. Yeah.
Yes, and you know, it's really unfortunate because while medication is helpful, I'm not in any way discrediting that, we don't then have the opportunity to teach children and ourselves how to become emotionally present, how to deal with distractions, and how to do behavioral activation for change.
All right, so let's talk about treatment now. You say that strength-based perspective to navigate these symptoms. What does that mean?
Everybody who is dealing with symptoms, I guarantee you are doing some things right. Particularly if you had it as a child and you're an adult, you have found a myriad of ways to navigate. So let's build on that. What are you doing that's working? Then let's talk about times and situations where you start to have challenges, right? And so we want to look for solutions. We want to figure out how best to navigate. We don't want to be problem thinkers.
And mindfulness is key to that, some behavioral solutions. CBT, what is that?
Yes, so that's cognitive behavioral therapy. It's my favorite. And basically what it helps somebody do is understand how their thoughts, their feelings, and their behaviors are connected.
Okay.
So if I'm feeling a little bit this way, I behave this way, and it helps you shape and change that.
Okay, all right. So I love what you said about, because this is something I've thought about, actually going to get a diagnosis myself. You go to a psychiatrist and a therapist, really. Yeah, you two-pronged approach on
Absolutely.
that.
You really want somebody that's going to help you, teach you things, and then the doctor for medication.
And on the medication, I said Ritalin because that's what I knew from childhood. Is it Adderall as well?
So there's Adderall, there's Vyvanse. They're essentially all stimulants.
Okay.
So they're stimulating the brain. I do want to have people be thoughtful when taking a stimulant. It can be easily used for things that are not great, and then we get a little bit too attached to it.
Okay, all right. Mary Jo, always good to talk with you. Thank you so much for talking about this issue. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Wonderful.
All right. Tina?
And a News 3 health report to tell you about now. A vaccine for Lyme disease could soon be on the horizon. Researchers in the U.S. and Europe are hoping to develop one soon. And while currently there are no vaccines approved in the U.S. for the tick-borne illness, Pfizer and French biotech Valneva have started a clinical trial to test a vaccine that aims to protect against Lyme disease and are seeking thousands of volunteers right here in the U.S. and Europe. The development of a new vaccine would be a game changer and would aim to protect both adults and children as young as 5.
We call it VLA15, and it's a vaccine that's designed to prevent Lyme disease caused by the 6 most common types of Lyme bacteria in both the US and Europe.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, Lyme disease infects an estimated 476,000 people in the U.S. each year. Still to come, an unexpected curveball, a scary moment on the diamond turns into a heartwarming scene.
The touching moment between 2 little leaguers and the ultimate display of sportsmanship. You're watching WSAV First News at 4.
A moment between opposing players in a Little League tournament is going viral, showing some proof that sportsmanship is still alive, even when the stakes are high.
Yeah, it's good to see it. We could all learn a little something from these two. NBC's Gaddy Schwartz has their story.
Oh, look out. A heart-stopping moment at bat during a playoff game, becoming a heartwarming display of sportsmanship. It started when a fastball from Pearland, Texas pitcher Caden Shelton hit the batter, Tulsa's Isaiah Jarvis, in the side of the head. Jarvis dropping to the ground in pain.
I was shooken up because I've never been hit with a ball that hard.
But to the relief of players and fans, recovering quickly.
Wow, that is a tough kid right there.
Meanwhile, pitcher Caden Shelton visibly shaken on the mound. Then an unexpected curveball, a touching moment between opponents. Jarvis striding over to the upset pitcher and folding him in a hug.
This is really cool. Hey, bro.
I wanted to make sure he was all right, and I wanted to make sure he knew that I was all right.
We felt bad for each other. I felt bad for hating him, and he felt bad for when I was crying, and he came and hugged me and made me feel better.
The crowd giving a standing ovation.
This is the best thing that I've ever seen in Little League Baseball.
I was sick to my stomach. To be completely honest, I was sick to my stomach. When he started walking towards Caden, the things that he said to Caden and the way that he hugged him, Isaiah, you are a great kid. You're amazing.
Parents' worries turning to pride.
I'm a college baseball coach, and it is a high-stakes game, and obviously it's a win or go home. And in that moment, that was what came out of him was to be a good person. Just overwhelmed with pride for him.
Ripped, caught!
But of course, the game must go on. Pearland beating Tulsa, now headed to the Little League World Series. But in that one moment, sportsmanship more golden than a trophy, and a new friendship the players say will endure.
You guys met a few days ago. You think the friendship's going to stay alive?
Yeah, I think so.
Good luck, Pearland. Go get them.
All right,
Yes.
we give them a standing ovation
Absolutely.
ourselves. That was
Yes.
really great.
I love it. Nothing intentional there.
No, that
no.
just happened naturally. Shows the character of those two young players. I wish that I had had an experience like that when I was playing sports when I was younger. I probably would have stuck with it.
Well, listen, I played sports,
Yeah.
and we had some rough moments, rough patches here and there.
Mhm.
But I got to tell you, just showing the love, it certainly makes a difference.
It does.
That is the best route to take.
Every time. All right, here's a live look outside on our Savannah cam. This is actually our tower cam here on Victory Drive. I wish I could give the weather a standing ovation today, Alyssa, but I don't know.
I know it's hot, a little hazy out there. We barely can see Savannah from here at WSAV from our tower cam, and that's all thanks to that Saharan dust moving up the east coast. Now, it's not only giving us that hazy look outside, it's also helping to suppress tropical activity. We've been watching this wave since the beginning of this week. In this wave, we had Monday a 40% chance of it turning into something. Yesterday it was 30, and today I have some good news. It's 20. So let's continue on this downward trend as we head to the next couple of days. Of course, still watching an eye on that tropical wave out there, but of course right now things are looking better to go in the tropics. But as of right now, back here at home, things are mainly quiet, watching for a few rain showers just south of our area beginning to make their way closer to the coastal empire and low country, watching for a few stronger storms out there as well. So the chance of rain is still going to stick with us as we head into the next couple of hours, but of course after sunset things taper off, and by tomorrow morning as you're stepping out the door, we're back into the mid-70s. So for this evening's time saver traffic report, watching for a little bit of congestion out there on Georgia 204 as you're heading towards US 17 right now. It's taking you right around 11 minutes when it normally takes you right around 6. Tina.
Alyssa, thank you. We do have more news ahead, including more fallout over the FBI's search and seizure at former President Trump's Florida home.
The attacks, verbal ones now, on the Bureau from conservatives and what we know about the search warrants. Stay with us. WSAV First News at 4 continues after the break. Before we get to stories making national headlines, here's a look at the top 3 on 3 local stories coming up on News 3 at 5 and 6. Focusing on your bank account, Governor Brian Kemp is ramping up what he calls a major economic announcement just moments ago. We'll break down what was said and how you could see a boost.
Here in Evans County, many residents don't have high-speed internet access. I'm Kyra Jones, and coming up tonight on WSAV News 3, I'll tell you about a new effort to change that.
Then the search for a new Savannah police chief continues, what leaders are focusing on and how the community can weigh in. New developments in the FBI search of former President Donald Trump's Florida estate. Trump and his allies are ramping up their attacks on the Bureau, claiming the search in Mar-a-Lago was politically motivated. NBC's Kristen Welker has the latest.
Overnight, in a show of force, a group of House Republicans having dinner and posing with former President Trump at his home in New Jersey. One of the congressmen who attended speaking out overnight.
I've never seen President Trump as fired up as what he was tonight.
It comes amid dramatic new details about the FBI's move to execute a search warrant at Mar-a-Lago, Mr. Trump's Florida estate. A lawyer for Mr. Trump, Christina Bobb, tells NBC News his legal team had been discussing records stored at Mar-a-Lago since this spring. The news was first reported by the Washington Post, which also said federal authorities were increasingly concerned Mr. Trump or his aides had not returned all documents that were government property, citing people familiar with the discussions. On Monday, Bobb said the FBI removed about a dozen boxes from a basement storage unit.
They also said that they were looking for classified documents, evidence of a crime as far as classified documents go.
It comes as the former president and his allies are escalating their attacks on the FBI, claiming without evidence that the investigation is politically motivated.
We're a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party.
It's like what we thought about the Gestapo.
Former Vice President Mike Pence, who has broken with Mr. Trump publicly, is urging Attorney General Merrick Garland to give a full accounting of the search. The Justice Department is not commenting. The search warrant remains under seal, meaning details about what agents sought to remove from the residence are still secret. But experts say investigators had to meet a high bar to carry out the unprecedented search.
The FBI can't get a search warrant unless it establishes probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed, a federal crime.
And such a sensitive move, so close to the midterm elections, would almost certainly have to go through the highest levels of the Justice Department, including the usually cautious Attorney General Merrick Garland. Trump allies now saying it may have made the former president more fired up to run again.
I believed he was going to run before. I'm as stronger in my belief now.
And all of this comes as the former president was expected to testify today under oath in a New York investigation over his family's business practices. The investigation is by the state's attorney general. Instead, Donald Trump invoked the Fifth Amendment and declined to answer questions during testimony. Investigators are looking into whether the Trump organization inflated real estate values. The former president denies the allegations, calling the investigation a, quote, witch hunt. New information now. Police in Albuquerque have charged a man from Afghanistan in the deaths of 2 Muslim men, and he is the prime suspect in 2 other Muslim killings. Mohammed Sayed was arrested Monday during a traffic stop following a tip to police. The latest killing happened Friday night. 2 other Muslim men were killed earlier last week, and a 4th was killed back in November. Now, police say they found the gun used in 2 of the murders in Syed's home. They are investigating possible motives, including what they call an interpersonal conflict. Well, a grand jury in Mississippi will not indict the white woman whose catcalling accusation set off the lynching death of black teen Emmett Till nearly 70 years ago. Jurors said there was not sufficient evidence to indict the now 87-year-old Carolyn Bryant Donham. The decision comes even after researchers recently found an unserved arrest warrant charging Dunham, her then husband, and brother-in-law in the case. No one was ever convicted for Till's murder. All right, here's a live look outside, checking out the riverfront in downtown Savannah. We see those gray skies. I think a little water on the lens there, Scott. Still raining out there?
Yeah, we had a brief downpour over Savannah. We were just watching it moments ago from our vantage point there along the Savannah River. And we are starting to see a few areas of shower activity develop in and around the area. Viper radar is tracking that, but not too much. We do have temperatures in the 90s, 93 right now for Savannah. So these few showers will help to cool conditions off just a bit. Here is the live scan. The larger cell in our area is down in the Hinesville area, Liberty County, but we can also see Chatham County, that small cell right over the riverfront there, almost barely visible on the radar view, but starting to dissipate already for us. Further to the southwest, there are some severe storms that are drifting in our direction. Not guaranteed that they're going to hold together, already starting to lose their intensity, but we do keep the storm chances in our forecast at least early on this evening. And with that heat, won't take much for some of those storms to, at the very least, produce some gusty straight line winds as those storms roll through. So storm chances through the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. By 7, 8, and 9, we'll be left with a mainly partly cloudy sky to mainly looking cloudy for us, with the dust in the atmosphere and some haze making it look even cloudier. We'll talk about that forecast for the rest of tonight and the tropics coming up in a few moments. Edward?
All right, thank you, Scott. Still ahead, keeping your kids safe as they return to the classroom. We're walking the halls of one school to give you a closer look at what a secure campus really looks like. What parents need to know right after this. As students head back to class, schools across the country are taking a closer look at ways to keep students and teachers safe. That includes investing in technology and new training. NBC's Vicki Gwynn has an exclusive look at what a secure school campus looks like.
Nearly 50 million kids in the U.S. are headed back to class, and across the country, districts are approaching security differently. In Indiana, Jay County schools have gun safes on each campus, where trained staff have access with just a thumbprint. Clinton Public Schools in Mississippi added a 4th police officer. And in Las Vegas, El Dorado High School is set for a $26 million security upgrade with cameras, single-point entry, and perimeter fencing. I'm here at White Plains High School in New York for an exclusive look at their campus security system. And with me is John LaPlaca. He's a consultant who works with schools across the nation. Let's talk about the security here. What's the first thing a visitor would notice?
So as we approach the building, we're going to have a single locked point of entry for visitors. If they want to gain access to the building, the first step in the process would be they'd buzz in on the intercom system, which would be answered by security personnel inside. Hi there, it's John LaPlaca from Altaris. I'm here to visit the main office. So I've announced myself, and the security person has now given us access to the building, has buzzed us into the vestibule.
But that's not it. We're stopped by a second set of doors where security scans our driver's license to cross-check against the sex offender registry and local banned persons lists. Okay, John, so now we're inside the school. What other security measures are in place here?
So visible throughout the building, you'll see cameras. It also gives law enforcement the ability in an emergency situation to look at the cameras.
What about the classrooms themselves?
They have electronic locks, which will actually automatically lock in an emergency situation. Some of the best returns on investment for safety and security are things that cost nothing at all.
Low-cost signs to help people provide 911 with their location and help responders outside find them. Oh, okay. We took part in an actual lockdown drill where teachers served as students. Assistant Principal Guy Vitiello, wearing this bright orange shirt, serves as a trespasser on campus. I'm in the classroom with teacher Daniel Furry, who shows us what happens when someone triggers the alarm.
I'm going to activate the phone.
Okay.
Students get to the safe zone. Students get to the safe zone.
So you instruct your students to go back to the safe zone?
Lockdown. Lock the doors. Stay away from the windows.
Across campus, the alert can be seen and heard from these LED boxes. Furry is trained to quickly scan for nearby students before securing the room. So you go outside, make sure that there are no students in the hallway, or you grab them to get into the safe zone?
Correct.
Okay.
Come in, get into the safe zone in the corner there. Lock down, go in the room.
In an actual lockdown, only law enforcement can enter the building. Today, school resource officers from White Plains PD enter through a back door closest to our trespasser. Now, when you close that door, Mr. Furry, does it lock automatically?
It does lock automatically.
Police didn't want to reveal their tactical response, but told us the priority is to go straight to the trespasser and confront the security risk.
White Plains Police, can you tell us why you're in the building?
Inside, everyone remains in lockdown. Only police can unlock the doors and let them out. As you stand here in the corner, what kind of goes through your mind?
Thinking about the students, and how they're feeling and how important it is to reassure them that when they're here, they're safe, that we have systems for them to ensure their safety and their comfort, and then reassuring them afterwards.
White Plains Police Chief Joe Castelli says his department holds multiple training drills like this every year. These are decisions officers have to make in a split second. How important is training to that muscle memory?
The more we do it, the more we will react in a crisis situation, a high-stress situation. The time to train is not the time when the crisis is going on.
The chief says everyone in the community can make the difference. See something, say something.
Look, we want to help anybody who may be in distress.
Superintendent Joe Ricca says planning, practice, and communication is the critical first layer of security to keeping any campus safe.
At the core of any strong security plan is always going to be the training.
That was Vicki Gwynn reporting. Officials say don't be shy about asking your school leaders about what security measures are in place. How often do they train? And what's the partnership like with law enforcement? We will answer some of those questions by taking a closer look at Beaufort County schools and what measures they have in place. Ahead on News 3 at 5 and 6.
Now, WSAV News 3 on your side weather with Storm Team 3 Viper Radar. Powered by the Dozier Law Firm.
Our Wednesday afternoon has been hot, hazy, and humid all across the coastal Empire and Low Country. That haze and even some Saharan dust making for a pretty milky looking view of Savannah all day long. It hasn't been an overcast sky. It's really just that haze and dust that's making that sky a little bit obscure. But we do also have some clouds out there, and we do have enough in the way of some cloud cover that we are tracking some light to moderate showers in around the coastal Empire Low Country, mostly outside the city now, down into Bryan County and down into Liberty County near Hinesville. That's where we do have a pretty heavy cell that's drifting northward along Highway 84, starting to lose its intensity as it does so, but further to the southwest, we are tracking some storms that were strong and severe a little earlier. This is inching in our general direction in the southwestern portion of the coastal empire, losing intensity as it does so. So with this, don't be surprised if in the next hour or so, we do start to see a little bit more in the way of widespread thunderstorm activity in that part of the area. And there is plenty of heat for storms to work with to become on the stronger side. 96 degrees right now for Hazelhurst compared to 93 for us here in Savannah, 90 for Richmond Hill. And with that onshore flow, humidity levels will certainly be staying high for us as we head into the evening hours with those showers and storms early on, cooling off into just the lower 80s by 9 and 10 o'clock, 79 degrees by 11 o'clock with a partly cloudy sky. And that sky is going to remain mainly partly cloudy as we do head into the overnight hours with those warm temperatures. And as we head through tomorrow afternoon and Friday afternoon, we will be tracking more in the way of some showers and storms, slightly lower rain chances again for us on Saturday, and then mainly dry for Sunday and into next Monday for the start of the new work week. So the pattern largely the same as we've been talking about for the past several days. High pressure off of our coast is directing a lot of Gulf moisture into the southeast, and with the daytime heating, it's not taking much for the showers and storms to really pop off. So that's what we're going to be dealing with for tomorrow and especially into Friday. Our Vipercast shows Thursday morning starting off with a mainly cloudy sky approaching lunchtime, and then as we head into the later part of the day, our model's kind of underdoing that rainfall coverage on there. We'll have to check this model, make sure it's painting that in correctly. I don't think it is. We will be talking about the way in scattered showers and storms through the afternoon tomorrow. In the tropics, things still quiet for us across the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean Sea, but this tropical wave that we've been tracking over the weekend and for the past few days starting to become a little bit less organized, so not much of a threat of development over the next 5 days. So 40% rain chances for our Thursday, higher for Friday, then starting to get into a drier pattern than as we head into the weekend with temperatures just in the upper 80s. In our time zero track report for our drive times heading from Savannah to Pooler taking 24 minutes. Also some slowdowns heading from Savannah to Richmond Hill along US 17. So definitely take it easy this evening. Chris Allred will be in at 5 o'clock with another check of your weather and traffic. Edward?
All right, thanks, Scott. Still ahead, reunited, and it feels so good. And I'm not just saying that because our favorite sports guy is joining us in studio next, but it is nice to have Andrew here. When we come back, the special reunion between a Super Bowl champ and a lost ring, and we'll introduce you to the man who saved the day.
And I'm Ben Singer in the WSAV Newsroom. Here's what's ahead at 5 o'clock tonight. The search for a new Savannah police chief, what we're learning about how the community will, input from the community, I should say, will be gathered. Plus, a focus on school security in the Low Country just days away from the start of the brand new school year. We're talking with the superintendent about his plans. Those stories and more starting at 5.
All right, we're going to cap off this edition of First News at 4 with our sports director, Andrew Goldstein, joining us in between all of your high school football shoots you have.
You know,
you are
Edward,
busy.
come August 1st, you hop on that particular tiger and it does not let you off until December, maybe even January if the dogs do what they did last year.
I mean, I don't envy you, but you do have fun with
Absolutely.
it. So,
you know what? I'm in the football pit and that is my home. That is where I thrive.
It's a good place.
So I usually include at least one dog story every week, and if you're the cynical sort of person thinking that maybe I'm doing this to emotionally manipulate the audience to keep watching, yeah, pretty much.
It
but
works.
How could I not include Tucker, the Seattle Mariners' new bat dog? He's a 4-year-old lab mix. The Mariners rescued him from a shelter and added him to their clubhouse roster. They did it to promote animal adoption, and now Tucker will get to live over at the Mariners Stadium.
Wait, so he gets to stay at the stadium?
Yes.
Oh, Tucker.
Dogs on whole have better lives than we do.
Yeah.
Nowhere is that truer than this particular dog.
One. He's super cute,
Also,
too.
how has a professional team not done this already? How are the Mariners the first ones?
This should become a thing now,
This is
right?
unbelievable.
Yeah. I've seen a dog like be a tennis ball fetcher. I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, now you got baseball.
And so you
adding
get
to
the baseball.
the mix.
Yeah, all right. Get
Now,
them all over.
This next one's a really cool story out of your hometown, Kansas City, actually.
Go
A member
KC.
of the Chiefs' 1969
Chiefs.
Super Bowl team realized that his Super Bowl ring was missing after a trip to the driving range. Something you don't want to lose. Super Bowl IV champion Jim Carney did not think he would ever see that ring again until a man named Dylan Garcia stumbled across it in the parking lot. Garcia returned it to Carney safe and sound. The ring also fell off once before in 2016, also returned without a scratch, that time, though, at a car wash.
Okay, so 3 things. I'm glad he got the ring back.
Absolutely.
Second thing, maybe resize it? Can you get a Super Bowl ring
Well,
resized?
a lot of players don't actually wear their rings very much.
Okay. It sounds like he does, though, so maybe resize the ring. And then third thing, I hope this guy got something.
Absolutely.
For returning the ring.
At least an autograph or something like that, a picture.
A gift certificate?
That can't be a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Finally, our highlight of the week takes us to international soccer, specifically the French League, where Lionel Messi continues to do Lionel Messi things. Check this out. Messi is going to handle the pass off the chest and then that.
Whoa!
I have thought, while cutting this highlight, how many months or years off my life I would trade to be able to do that on a regular basis?
Yes!
What would your answer to that be? How about this? Just real quick game before we leave.
Yeah.
Your equivalent to this, whether it be favorite athlete, favorite singer, whatever.
Sure,
How
yeah.
many years off your life would you trade to be able to do what they do?
On a regular basis?
Yeah, regular basis whenever you want.
Couple years.
Yeah,
Couple
I
years.
think 3 is very reasonable.
2 or 3 is reasonable.
No,
I think that's
absolutely.
reasonable.
I think that is sort of the median answer.
All right. Thank you, Andrew, as always.
Yep.
Good
Always
to
a good
see you.
time, Edward.
All right. And thank you for joining us on First News at 4, everybody. Stay with us. WSAV News 3 at 5 is next.